Yes.
It looks like Britain's snap election may result in a hung parliament. In fact, right now it is already, as major parties fail to gain majority. 326 seats are needed to form a government of either party, whichever party comes up. But final seats are being counted. I think by now they should have made conclusions on that. British Prime Minister Theresa May's Conservative Party has won the most seats in the election, but lost her majority to form an effective government.
How do you win and lose at the same time? Now, in the event of a hung parliament, the party with the largest number of seats will either team up with another party or try to form a government, a minority government, that is. Joining us via Skype from Belgium is Global Affairs Policy Analyst Collins Nweke. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning and thanks.
Yes, now this was an election that was totally uncalled for, but Theresa May, overconfident, that's how people have described her, but it has backfired.
Yes, it has. And I mean, some called her overconfidence, some called her opportunistic. But I think in the final analysis, yes, indeed, it has backfired to the point that as we speak, her future is, is unpredictable. As a matter of fact, it is actually been assumed that she is going to resign, to give it up. So yeah, that's an issue. But beyond that, of course, Britain itself, politically is in turmoil at this moment, and we have seen that also in the stock markets. The the exchange rate of the pounds has fallen by 2% against dollars and by 1.5% against the euros. And these are all unnecessary. They were avoidable, but Theresa May led the British people into all of these.
Now, with the hung parliament, as of now, it is not very clear how things are going to turn out, because we see that Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn is already calling for Theresa May to resign.
Yes, indeed, he has, and such a call is actually expected. Now, you see, out here in Central Europe, in mainland Europe, we're actually used to a situation of a hung parliament. It hardly ever happens that, in the main democracy out in, mainland Europe, that one party is always, big or strong enough to win outright majority. So forming a coalition is a very common thing out here. Now, in Britain, I think it's different. In the UK right now, Theresa May of the Conservative Party does have some difficulties in terms of who to form coalition with. Okay, it's definitely not going to be the Labours. It's not going to be the Liberal Democrats, because they have ruled themselves out. The Scottish National Party also not. On the other hand, the Labour Party, the largest, the second largest party, also has a problem about who to form a coalition government with. But like you rightly pointed out, I think they are most likely going to end up with a minority government. And that, will create even more tensions, not only for the Brexit project, but also in terms of the economy, because it introduces a whole lot of uncertainty, because the government can fall at any moment. So this is really, as they are saying in some quarters, unforgivable for Theresa May to have plunged the country into this kind of turmoil.
What will be the consequences of this uncertainty? In the build-up to the election, Brexit seemed to be the major thing on the table, but it turned out to be the elephant in the room during the campaigns and all of that. Neither of the parties really wanted to talk about Brexit, really. So what exactly is what is it going to look like going forward? You have Brexit debate starting around 19th of June.
Indeed. You know, basically 10, 11 days from today. One will imagine that there is going to be a very serious shuffle. Of course, if you know, the Conservatives remain in power, and it is very likely, of course, that they will remain in power. Now, what we are likely going to see is a watering down of the hard Brexit that Theresa May so desperately wanted. Now, we might have to begin to see some readjustments to the point that she is able to appease to you know, the demands and the expectations of the Labour Party that wants a soft Brexit. Now, if that is not done, I really wonder how they are going to forge ahead. That's on that point. Now, on the other part, you also look at the issues of security. Now, you know that when they kicked off this campaign process, there was basically no other talk other than you know, Brexit. Security was not on the agenda, but with the Manchester terrorist attack, you know, issues of security now came up, and people were then forced to assess or reassess the you know, performances of Theresa May at the time that she was Home Secretary, and security felt under her portfolio at the time.
Okay.
It then emerged that, of course, you know, 20,000 police officers were caught at the time, which wasn't a good thing, you know, for her record. So,
all right, Collins Nweke, we can't end this without talking about James Comey. Of course, June 8th, another day to be remembered in the U.S. He faced the Senate Committee on Intelligence answering questions. It looks like Donald Trump's lawyer has turned the table against James Comey.
Well, yes, that's what he has tried to do. But if you have been, you know, following commentaries and, you know, watching, you know, developments in the United States, it doesn't look like he's been able to cut a lot of woods with his attempts to, you know, turn the table on James Comey. James Comey is a seasoned lawyer. Things don't happen by accident with people like him. For example, the statement he made about releasing, you know, documents that then actually forced the institution of a private counsel, an independent counsel, to, you know, carry on the investigation. That's what the Trump, you know, private lawyer is actually using to try to turn the table against him, to say we are going to start an investigation against him. No, but you know, the analysis is that he hasn't done anything wrong. But of
all
course,
right,
colleagues, subject.
Yeah,
so I kept busy talking of other things.
All right, colleagues, Nweke, thank you very much. That's how much time can permit us right now, and it's been really interesting stories from across the globe, I must say. But this is where we come to the end of the week's edition of TVC Breakfast. I am Mike Okwache.
And I am Ngozi Alebu. Have yourselves a beautiful weekend. Bye now.